We have to declare war on the coon kingdom.
To a certain point, it was like I understand what they were trying to do. The message they were trying to put is like celebrate black excellence and success,
right?
But it's also a disrespectful thing when you're putting like it's almost like to me that 200 hip hop albums list from Rolling Loud. I'm like, you should not be putting like freaking Nas at 24. Like, name me 24 hip hop albums are like better than Illmatic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you're putting like Big E at like 12. I'm like, name me 11 that are like, what are we doing? You know, like.
So you're saying it's not just about you, like you see.
It wasn't a
like,
me thing.
Yeah, like
and that's like entitlement came in with the people behind it. Like, oh, he's disrespecting this. I'm like the black culture, he ain't for us. I'm like, motherfucker, I do more for this black culture than you ever.
So wait, why'd you want off the list?
Because it was just like they're putting people like way ahead that. For one, just had a pay-per-view, just started getting buzz.
Right.
Because he's popping now and starting to simmer. He's not on fire yet. He's just starting to simmer and get theirs.
Okay.
I'm not putting people's names specifically.
Okay.
But these people, they're putting like male and female, they're just starting to simmer and get noticed, get the eye out there. And you're throwing them ahead of people that have been
laying a
who won at WrestleMania,
like WrestleMania main events,
who won Money in the Banks. Like, so you're just going to throw away all that because this person's doing pretty well right now. They haven't So
you were more displeased about it being more about like a relevant thing as opposed to what they're.
It's cloudy. It's very clout chasey, and I'm like, and I didn't like that. So then I'm like, if you're not going to do it right.
Don't do it at all.
Don't do it at all, and I don't want to be a part of that. You know,
I got you.
Because it's like, dude, it's disrespectful to just a lot of people that have like really paved the way and are still actively going.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. Today we're going to talk about black people not liking Swerve. So it was a big deal when Swerve Strickland won the AEW World Championship on April 21st, 2024. Somebody like me who was a fan back when he was doing MLW. I thought, finally this guy's finally getting a look. I thought he was overlooked in NXT. I thought he was underutilized in NXT. He never even got a chance on the main roster of WWE. He took that and put a chip on his shoulder, and he grinded harder in AEW. It took a little while, but he finally started getting some legs underneath him, and he kind of took off in AEW, and he finally got to the top, and I was glad to see it. Of course, I had my criticisms of Swerve, but overall, I was a fan from when he was in MLW, so of course, I'm still a fan now. Now, over the last couple of years, since like 2021, 2022, there has been many people in the BIWC, that's the Black Internet Wrestling Community, who have not been a fan of Swerve, and I didn't really understand why, because I'm not really a collectivist. So I don't look at these things and say, oh, black people are mad, I should be mad too. Instead, I just kind of was like, it don't really matter. So then it comes from 2 instances that where people are upset with him, and they're not proud, not really, that he's the world champion, and they think he should not be talking about being the first black world champion. So the first thing was, apparently, I think in 2022, the Black Wrestling Podcast or something to that effect put out their own black top 50 wrestlers or whatever. And this was in 2022. And Swerve Strickland was number 19. Swerve then asked them to not put him on that list and said that the list was disrespectful and that they were trying to be clickbaity and clout chasey. And they got very, very upset. They did a 30-minute video on Swerve, breaking down how they came to number 19, and it was done the same way as the PWI. They go from, one particular point in time and do like an entire calendar year. So I think it was from May to May. I think that's what they said. So basically, they were judging the wrestlers and ranking them from May to May, and Swerve did not like that. He didn't like that there were people who had won world titles and people who had won, main event of WrestleMania, and people who were fairly new, all jumbled together. But these guys were saying, oh, look, man, this was just, for the year. And then he apparently blocked them, so they never really got a chance to talk about it. And so they were kind of pissy about it. And there's like 4 or 5 of those guys, but they're pretty influential, I would imagine. I don't watch them, don't know they exist until I had to do this video. So, again, I'm not a collectivist. And then the second thing was the Black and Ugly situation, which, again, I didn't know anything about. I had to look it up, but apparently there was a song that Swerve Strickland either posted or performed. I'm not sure which one it is. The video was 4 seconds of a lyric in which he said he had a girl, but she was black and ugly. And I don't know if that was Swerve rapping, because I don't know what his rap voice sounds like. So I would imagine that it was him. And that seems to be where a lot of the fury comes from. The idea that he may think black women are black and ugly, which, those are 2 separate things. That's why you put "and" in there. You can be black and ugly. You can be black and beautiful. It's not a necessity for you to be black and beautiful. It's entirely possible for people to be black and ugly. But apparently that's all it took. And now there's a lot of people who are very, very angry at Swerve, and they're not trying to take him down, so it's not like exactly a roast, but it's pretty clear that these people are not happy that Swerve is the world champion. And just for, kicks and giggles, there's a lot of people who are calling Swerve the DEI world champion. Now, these people I don't really like. I'm not a big fan of, as soon as somebody black does something, we start labeling it DEI. Swerve is not there because he's black. He's there because he's legitimately good. And for a long time, he was the most over guy on the roster. Just because they put the belt on him too late doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve it. Just because he's a transitional champion, more than likely, doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it. So we're going to go through, and people are really getting snarky with our boy Swerve. And part of this comes from Swerve's scrum, where afterwards he talked about, being the first black world champion in AEW and how he was inspired by Kofi Kingston. In fact, let's look at some of what he said. So he says, and I quote, "It's hard to choose just one message," because he asked if he wanted to have a message to black boys and girls who were watching, because, this is a PSA for all the children all of a sudden. He says, "It's hard to choose one message. I think one moment sends many messages to everybody. And primarily it's possible it can be done, but it's not easy. I kept saying this throughout the week, though. All these interviews and media I was doing, I was like, what if it happens if I don't win the championship? Oh, we'll push it down the road. We get to a bigger moment. We got to push it down the road again. That's happened 7 times in history. And pushing it down the road results to missed opportunities, and it never happens. And I've seen that way too many times as a kid growing up. I'm sure you have too. And I'm sure have a lot of other people have. They've seen opportunities for us to push down the road. You want to build it to something bigger around the corner, and boom, injuries. Boom, somebody else gets the opportunity in front of them. Boom, that person's not as hot as they were before. When it's our moment, we have to take it. That's the message I want to send. That's why I came out in the outfit that I wear. It's not coming to be rewarded the crown and the throne. I'm here to take it. That's what we have to do. We have to take it." And then, of course, he talks about Kofi Kingston inspiring him, and that Kofi's championship win was not just one of the biggest inspirational things he's ever seen, not just in black wrestling history, but in wrestling history, period. So when he goes out there and he becomes Martin Luther Swerve, a lot of people now are rolling their eyes and remembering that he didn't want anything to do with the Black Wrestling Podcast Top 50 or whatever. He didn't want anything to do with them, and he blocked them. And I guess he has I don't know if it's an ongoing thing with them or not, but also the Black and Ugly situation. So they have an attitude. They got a problem. So some of the bigger accounts on the internet that are black wrestling fans are saying stuff like this. Honestly, Swerve worked hard for this opportunity, but the road he took to get here is bitter as hell. I can never forget how he walked all over black people who were willing to show him love and chose to try to embarrass them. That still resonates. Fight me if you want. And then somebody else says, I'm black and ugly, but congrats on history, I guess. See, he wasn't even... People are internalizing a rap song. You could talk about murdering and killing people in any rap song you want. Nobody will ever internalize it. All of a sudden, this guy had a lyric, not even half a bar. Let's say he had a girl that was black and ugly, and all of a sudden, all these chicks are like, oh, I'm black and ugly, so... You're like, what do you mean? When all these dudes are calling you bitches and hoes, you're fine with it. Drake called you a bitch in every song. You singing along. He says, I had a girl that was black and ugly. If it wasn't you, then what you upset about? I don't know. Now, here's the one that really kind of threw me for a loop. They put the belt on the coon. So now he's a coon. He's a coon. The disrespect. These people are crazy. Here's another one. It's funny the way Swerve is leaning into the first black world champion thing, considering, well, you know, it's like they think that he hates black people. Where did they get the idea that Swerve hates black people? Because he didn't want to be a part of a list? Because he didn't really, maybe he didn't understand it. Maybe he just didn't like the people who were putting it together. Maybe he was just having a bad day. Who knows? But that doesn't equate to hating black people. Here's another one. Don't pick and choose when to be black. It doesn't work that way. Did he ever say that he wasn't black? I don't know. Here's another one. First black AEW world champion is a nigga who don't care to be categorized as such. That one isn't even, it barely rates. This one is pretty nutty. And when it comes to there's a picture of Swerve with the world title. It says, and he only sold out his own people to do it. The Clarence Thomas of pro wrestling. The Clarence Thomas of pro wrestling. Complete misunderstanding of both Clarence Thomas and Swerve, apparently. But at the same time, man, I don't know. Maybe there's more to it than I can think of, but I'm not going to do like too much detail diving on this stuff. Somebody says, want to be excited, but I'm black and ugly. These people are sick. It's just, listen to this bitterness. It's all about them. You know, this guy, they're trying to turn this guy's moment into something about themselves. It's not about you. It's about him. And that's why this whole thing should not be about whether he's the black world champion or not. Because when you're supposedly a representative, the moment you step out of what they call code, then you end up with stuff like this. People not appreciating all the hard work you did because they want you to make it about them. And it's not about them. It's about all the work you did. You know? Anyway. For real, you're not making black history. You're in a promotion that doesn't push our people. And they're talking about Swerve. Bruh from Seattle. He's the guy white people used to say, I'm not racist because I have black friends. This is sick in the head. It's funny though. It's funny, but it's sick in the head. Here's another one that, okay. He's okay with he himself being black. It's just his female counterparts he has a low opinion of. And it hasn't really cost him any fans or momentum, so he has no reason to feel any different. I had to unpunch my stand card, though. These people are so sensitive. It's always about them and their feelings. It's forever navel gazing, turning every moment of yours into something about them. It's crazy. Exactly. Coon. And the fact that he hates black women. Ever since he posted that rap talking about had a girl but she was black and ugly, it's been fuck Swerve over here. Y'all can have him. Ooh. Crazy. Swerve only brings up blackness when it's in his benefit. Oh man. But these people are crazy. These people are crazy, man. Yeesh. Here's another one. Just finished my research on this. Swerve went personally after BRP, that'd be Black Wrestling Podcast. A platform that dedicates time to uplift black wrestlers. This is a valid thing for people to be mad about. Well, he didn't like how they did it. Just because you are looking to do something doesn't mean that everybody has to agree with the way you go about it. He's one guy. And it didn't change anything. If you still like it, what did Swerve accomplish, really? He just said he didn't want to be a part of it because he didn't feel the way that they were putting it together. He didn't think it was legitimate, and he didn't like it. So what? So what? These people are crazy, man. Jesus Christ. This one's sad, depressing, actually. He blocked me for pointing this out, yet I still cheered when he won tonight because I know what it means to my people. I love my people even when they don't love me back. Well, that sounds like an abusive relationship. That's what it sounds like. I love you even when you don't love me back. That's got to get you a stalking charge. If he was talking about a girl, right? Jesus Christ. What are you talking about, man? I'm as black as everybody. I'm reading black people stuff. I'm as black as all these people. I did not cry. I was not that super excited. I mean, I was more excited when Kofi won because I really didn't believe it was going to happen. And I'm just kind of like, okay. And I was a fan of Swerve. And I'm still just kind of like, all right. But there's so many people running around here saying he's only black when it benefits him. No, he's black every day. He's literally black every single day. Every day. Doesn't matter whether he agrees with you on every issue or not. He's black every single day. Every day. That's the part that's bothering you. He's black every day. You're black every day. But y'all think differently. And you can't stand that. That's unfortunate. Here's one that is not attacking Swerve. I just think it's interesting because I was thinking the same thing as I was sitting there during my lunch break. You know, I was eating, so I could do two things at once. Listening to this 30-minute diatribe that these guys had on Swerve. And here's somebody that actually encapsulates how I feel. I truly do not believe y'all were really out here paying that deep attention to this podcast to care about a stupid-ass list 2 years after it got posted. They're lucky to get triple digits on videos. Niggas are not supporting shit, and yet I'm supposed to believe niggas truly care that Swerve didn't want to interact with them. Yeah, you are supposed to. I didn't even know who these people were. I don't know who any of these people are. Why would I get upset? Because I don't know who any of these people are. You know? This is collectivist thinking. You know? These folks probably all hang out together or in the same group chat, and all of a sudden what they think matters. Here's one that says, he won't be the first black champ to me. He'll be the first coon champ. The first coon champ. I know Swerve is going to be so happy he's taking that belt home to a chick who isn't black and ugly. There's people saying that he's going to change the color of the strap because it's black. Oh my God. All right. It's 100% possible to acknowledge the historical significance of Swerve being AEW champion while still holding him accountable for that ridiculous rap in which he referred to a black woman or women as black and ugly. He's going to be held accountable. Oh, look, Kevin, it's the police. Here's another one. He never said he didn't want to be a nigga. He didn't want to date niggas, allegedly. Those are two different battles. I'm sorry. What is wrong with these people, man? They're so sensitive. This woman says, who made Whitlock a champion? I guess that means Jason Whitlock. These people are crazy, man. These people are nuts. And these are the people you're supposed to be in fellowship with. Folks that, you know, you have a minor disagreement and all of a sudden you're a coon. You hate black people. You hate black women. It's like, this is a minor disagreement mostly over your interpretation of a lyric. And from what I see, he never spoke on it, clarified, or doubled down. He just posted the song as it was and left it. And all these people, decided they was going to crawl up their own asses about it. This is crazy. And people are upset about a list. Who cares about these kayfabe ass lists? It's a kayfabe list, cuz the wins and losses are predetermined. All they trying to do is have a little bit of fun by ranking the black people, because I listened to the video. The issue is they started this thing because they felt like the PWI didn't have enough black people on it, which is, who cares, ultimately, all right? It doesn't matter. The big issue is they look at it from a yearly perspective. If he disagreed with that, he's okay to disagree with that. And if he wants to say why he disagreed with that, you don't got to agree with his reasoning, but respect the man's opinion. He didn't like it. So what? Why he got to agree with you? Like, why do people have to be handcuffed to each other by race? And why did that have to be mental? Why can't it just be, all right, he doesn't really like what we did. Maybe we'll try to figure out a way to change his opinion. Maybe he misunderstood. Whatever. And call it a day. We got to rally the troops and, try to bring him down. I know they're not doing that, but people holding on to this grudge. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. Who really gives a shit? You know how much life you have to live in 2 years? You know how many people died in 2 years? And you're upset because a guy didn't put over your goddamn list? You're mad about half a bar while you listening to Future and Kanye or whatever call each other bitches and call you bitches and hoes and talk about killing each other? Are you serious? Are you real right now? Because it doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'm on an island by myself. Thank you everybody for listening. Peace out.